Tell me a little bit about when you got married and when Grandpa asked you to marry him and what you were thinking at the time and how that all played out.
Sure, I'd be glad to do that. I met Julian at the Foundation for the Junior Blind. I was working there. First I was a volunteer, and I had known him for a couple of 2 or 3 years. He disappeared, and he showed up one night when we were having our fundraising mail-out. Julian was very helpful, and he worked very hard, and he got everything so messed up, it took us 3 days to resort them. So I took him home with me to get him out of there. We started dating, and he was a nice person. He objected to the fact that I had shoes in my refrigerator rather than food like other people, but we had a few little things that we had to work out. And Julian was a person who gave gifts, still is. So he went down to the stationery store and got me some stationery. And the stationery had my name on it.
Farmer's Market.
Oh, Farmer's Market, right. And it said Patsy Myers. Well, every time I got mad at him, I'd throw that stationery in the trash in front of him. Very dramatic, it was great. And then when he left, I'd bring it out again because it was pretty good stationery.
Still got some.
I still have some. And so we dated. I was dating other people, and he would like to come over and tell me about his love that he had before me, that he'd broken up with her. And so he would tell me these nice long stories about her and how great she was, and I listened. Finally, at some point, he suggested, his divorce became final after 2 or 3 years, and I was not there from the beginning. Yeah.
Did I date you that long?
No, just for a couple of months at the end. And so when his divorce was final, he came down to where I was working, and he said, I love you, and I think you love me, and let's get married this weekend. And I was sort of embarrassed because I had a date. And so finally, he kept pushing me, and I said, no, I have a date, and he threw his drink all over the restaurant that we were in. But he gave me a 2-week extension. And I cried a lot during those 2 weeks, thinking about the terrible thing that might happen to me. And at the end of 2 weeks, Helen, his sister, decided to have the wedding at her house. We did that. I was a couple of hours late.
Your sister came from...
My sister came to get me there because I was a couple of hours late. It didn't seem like a good plan. And
Rod came from Detroit.
Yeah. And so we had this wedding with a great pianist, her son Jeffrey, who was a young boy at the time. And he played Bridge Over Troubled Waters, which I thought was great. But every time he hit the wrong key, he'd say, oh shit.
Oh.
And so it was sort of a rollicking event, not, a lot of fun. So the next, and I had made my mind up, I don't like this, I can get a divorce Monday. It's no problem. The next morning, we had a wedding breakfast with everyone there, all of our guests, and we had a pretty good time.
Well, that was at the Ambassador?
No, we were at the hotel that we stayed at in Santa Monica.
Oh, yeah, Samar.
Yeah. So we did that, and by the time Sunday morning came, I thought, this would just very well might work out. I'll hang out for a few more days. And 43 years later, I'm still hanging out, but I still got the option open. So that's how I married this man. We've had a very exciting life. Very good.
And then, Grandma, there was the part about something about you told him you wanted an ocean view or something. What was that story?
Oh, at one point, he said, I also was dating a watchmaker at the time.
Okay.
he said, I'd like to marry you or something. And I said, well, I want to live with an ocean view. So he was running around Santa Monica looking for some place with an ocean view. And he found this place where you could stand up on a chair in the closet
Yeah.
and see the ocean view. And I went down to look at it, and he was so proud of having done this. But I had to leave because I had a date that night.
Again.
So I left him. And finally he found something that worked.
Good.
So we got married.
I'm still trying to hold on to her.
I know.
It's been great on the way. But really, I want to make a point that I feel very strongly about right now, and that is, I rank Patsy, you'll be surprised maybe, with Abraham Lincoln and Henry Truman and Roosevelt as a person who came up kind of out of the soil, just more or less typical American who has a mission that she feels is very important to America, and she spent the last 3 years, she's declined any clients in 3 years. She's even engaged people to help her do this, to bring to the attention of the U.S. legal profession to help us retain the things that make America great. And I admire her, and I back her all the way. I want her to do this as long as she feels that it's important to America. Every one of our 5 granddaughters that is married, every one has married a gentleman that we really admire and like, and should. They're good. They're great guys. I don't know how each one came up with just the right one. Not only great guys, but they're the right ones for them. That's a miracle.
Yes.
That's a miracle. And everybody I know in Patsy's family is a joy. We meet once a year, generally now in Tucson, where her brother Sam lives, and we have 2 or 3 nice days together, and we're all like brothers and sisters. And same thing with my family whenever we get together. And I don't know how life can be so ideal.
We got some more children, some more grandchildren to get married off.
Yeah, we have great grandchildren, the ones that are coming
And
up.
grandchildren too, yeah.
The grandchildren that we see now really promise well for America and the world. They're what we like to see in children and don't always see. And they're all kind of open and nice and friendly and happy and well. And we're so fortunate. And they're all very loving too.
They are.
Well, you're a lucky guy, Julian.
I know. Tell
Yeah.
me about it.
And this is to be continued.
Yes.
This is just so far.
Well put.
We'll do this again in another,
Yeah, another 5-10 years.
5-10 years.
That's so nice.
You'll have a lot to add.
As Patsy says, this is to be continued. Well, we've had a couple of crises lately, health crises, and Patsy pulled me through them miraculously.
Yep.
She balances what the MDs do with her own good sense, which sometimes is more really applicable and helpful and life-sustaining than the procedures that they've been taught.
Yeah, I believe that.
So it's a great combination. I'm very lucky, and here you are, kind enough to record these reactions we've had, and to tell people how wonderful life can be in America.
Well, thank
Well,
you.
just remember, I still got my option open to dump you if you get to be too much trouble.
Well, it could happen. I could understand. I
So
could.
silly.
No,
Yeah, okay,
not gonna happen.
that's it.
All right.
There's my dear wife there.
Hello.
So
All right.